Howdy everyone. Can you hear me well? Please give me 5 by 5. Good to see you guys again. Lorna, Mommy, Voodoo Queen, and exploring with the Zuinas. Hope I'm pronouncing it right. Good to see you guys. Good day to you all too. Baron H, hi there. Chief Jim, the usual suspects. Good to see you guys. My hearts, they go to you. Baron, I'm feeling, well, health-wise, I'm feeling okay. I'm getting better. Like, I'm not that sick anymore. But psychologically, not feeling too great. I actually, guys, was thinking of canceling today's stream because this past week has been one of the hardest in my life, and it's been really, really tough. I know a lot of you emailed me with your prayers and asking how my relatives were doing with CV-19. Well, my mother is fine. She's on oxygen, getting better. And my uncle passed away 2 days ago. He died in my hands, literally in my hands. He stopped breathing, and our family buried him. We had the funeral and the whole 9 yards. So it's been really hard. Thank you guys. Thank you. My uncle was number 3 in the line of the loved ones for me, and it's not that he died of COVID. It was COVID, but he refused to get medical attention. Like my mother, she's getting much better. And my uncle, he just refused. 84, he was tired and he couldn't do it on his own. We were administering him shots, had house visits of doctors. Well, one doctor arranged. Emergency ambulances came, and every time they asked him one simple question: would you like to be hospitalized right now? He refused. Anyway, so this week has been really, really tough. I decided to cancel the stream first because this is just too much. But then I figured that I need to get outside and I need to be out with people. I need to just walk around. In Russia we call it to wind down. So I decided to do a simple walking tour tonight. Well, for me it's night. And I am in Rostov-on-Don, obviously. I got outside to the embankment and just to learn that it's the weather, like the temperature dropped down, and it's too cold. It's high 40s, low 50s, a little windy. So I picked a restaurant in one of my earliest streams in the summertime. I checked out this place once. It's called Sapore Italiano. It's an Italian restaurant owned by an Italian family here in Rostov. Fantastic place. The best pasta I've ever had in my life. And I've been to Italy quite a few times. So I decided they have like a veranda, which is in the summer it's open, but in the winter they kind of wrap it up with plastic, so you kind of sitting outside, but it's warm and nice in here. There's just one problem: they're a little noisy and quite a few kids. Fortunately, they left. They stepped outside to play in a kids' room, but they're coming back. So This is the latest, guys. So I'm sitting here. It's not gonna be a long stream, perhaps hour and a half, something like that. That's about it. But it's actually nice to be talking to you, first of all, and then it's nice to be outside of the house, nice to be among people. Nice to see that life goes on and everything's, well, it hasn't stopped. Firefly, hi there. Hang on. I will try to answer quite a few questions of you guys, of yours, because I'm not walking. I'm just looking at the screen right now. Although it's telephone and it's not that convenient. It's not bad. I also would like to eat something. I'm thinking of pasta, the best in the world pasta. I kid you not. I love pasta in this place, the best. Okay. My camera is shaking a little bit because it's right on the table, and every time I put my hands on the table, it kind of shakes. I hope it doesn't bother you guys. Oh, wait a second. Oh yeah, that's right. The gimbal is working. I have a comment from Baron H. Your physical health is the primary thing to be good, and you can work through the emotional part. Yes, agreed. Thank you, Chief Jim. We're here for you. Hopefully, being all with your friends will help. Yes, certainly. It's therapeutic. And again, guys, one of the reasons I did not cancel the stream is I want to be out and I want to speak to you, with you guys, you know. Anna, thank you so much. Proud Mom 1966. Hello to Maine from Russia with love. I'm so sorry. Thank you for being sorry. The thing is, I've talked to, well, our family, all our family, you know, united at the funeral, got together, and we talked with my remaining uncles and aunts and, you know, cousins. We talked about it, and the thing is, 84 years old, we were kind of expecting this. It's just coronavirus happened to be the cause, you know. And if it's not for corona, it would have been hard, or it would have been just old age. His health was falling. He really kind of broke down after my dad passed away because he was so close with my dad. You know, he was just, they're like the best friends, and they lived together for a few years. You know, my uncle moved in with my mom and dad, and they were just having a ball, you know. They got along so great. They were like, you know, closest brothers, although that's my mom's brother. But my dad, he loved my dad so much, and then vice versa. And then they were just so good together. So when my dad passed away, right in front of him, in front of his eyes, he was badly shaken. And it's just, we kind of knew it was coming. It just happened to be 2 days ago. And just, it's life. What can I say? It doesn't make it any easier for me. It's painful, and it just sucks. All right, if you guys want to me to notice your comments, please put them in caps, so it's much easier. Because again, I'm reading on my little, well, not so little, but on the cell phone, and it's not so easy to read the comments. Klingon, thank you. Mutant, thank you so much. Lorna, thank you. Audrey, thank you so much. Mr. Tom. Alora, hi there. Mr. Tom, hey there. Anarchy, Constantine, hi from wife and me in rural Minnesota. Anarchy, the God, oh, I see. The usual suspect. This is how I call you. Welcome back. Thanks for joining to the stream. Mr. Tom, get you some seafood pasta. I'm not a big fan of seafood pasta. I like very regular, either with tomato sauce, what is it called? Napolitana or marinara, I think. Anyway, I like pasta with white sauce and tomato sauce. That's pretty much it. Not a big fan of seafood. Especially, guys, seafood here is great. The local seafood, like carps and things like that, like in the local river. But when we're talking about like Atlantic seafood, stuff they get here is frozen and defrosted, and it doesn't taste the same. Hey, I lived in Maine for 9+ years. Trust me, I've had plenty of fresh, best in the world seafood from the North Atlantic. I've had lobsters, just you name it, anything. Maine shrimp, mussels, all kinds of fish, and I really have hard time eating that kind of seafood here because I know how the real stuff tastes like, and stuff here never tastes the same. You know what I mean? So I think I'm gonna go for regular like tomato sauce pasta. They're excellent here. By the way, guys, how well can you hear me, and how much there is there interference, like background noise, and how bad is that? Anarchy, good to see you, friend. Condolences. Thank you so much. 5x5. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't have much of a battery on my phone. Well, I don't want to make the stream super long, you know what I mean? I just need to unwind a little bit. Whew, it's been quite a week. Chicken Prepper, hi there. Proud Mom 1966. James, so tell me, my friends, how is Maine these days? Is it cold? Moscow is quite warm. It's in the 50s and low 60s, believe it or not. Rostov, which is the south, well, I didn't pay much attention of what was going on outside, but it's overcast every day and it's not that cold. It's a little frisky, it's probably in the 50s, but today is nasty because we have this northern wind came in and it's kind of blowing the chill out of your bones or into your bones. So it's pretty, and I'm certainly not dressed up to the occasion, When my mom called me up a week ago and she said I'm not feeling well, so she was already in the hospital. I grabbed all my stuff and I just flew the first flight, and I didn't think of much of, bringing warm clothes and stuff like that. So I'm just in a t-shirt and and a little overcoat, which is usually fine, but not for this weather, not for walking outside, Oh, we have a good person, Ironwood Workman, join. I have not heard this name before. Friend, welcome to the stream, and I hope you enjoy it. It's not the joyous stream, and it's not the most cheerful stream, like, far from it. But hey, it's Saturday, and it's the Russian talks. The Russian is me, by the way. In case you didn't know, guys, if you are just joining or just joined, I am streaming live from South Russia, Rostov-on-Don, very close to the Sea of Azov, the Black Sea. The Ukraine is about 40 miles west of me. Down here, I'm forced to be here. I'm taking care of some family business, very sad family business, but what can we do? So I am streaming live. I wanted to go outside and stream from the embankment, which I did in the past. In the summertime, it was fantastic, but kids, I started doing that, and then it's too cold. Oh my God, this is so terrible. I am new here. Just found your channel last week. Ironwood Workman says, where are you from, and welcome to the channel. It's not the channel, but I'm really proud to call this a little, very nice and growing community. I do live streams every Saturday. We have about 30, 40 people here, and usual suspects. You know, you get, you get to meet them, and you'll get them you will get to know them closer. Nice, excellent people. I answer questions about Russia, and I basically tell about my takes on how life in this country is, the current news, what's going on. I usually do walking tours of things, and so so welcome to the stream. I hope you keep on coming back for more. Sunset, hi there. Northern Grace, hi there. Thank you so much. EMS paramedic. Constantine, I'm just joining. I'm so sorry for your loss, and so forth. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. I had quite a few interesting stories for you guys. It happened to me yesterday and today, but they're too close and it's still too painful. You know what I mean? They're connected with my uncle's passing away. But he died in my hands, and I had to call cops. They immediately came because every time there's death of a Russian citizen, cops show up just like that. And they immediately opened a criminal case against me, and I was the suspect of murder. And this is how things work here in Russia. They don't give you the benefit of the doubt, quite vice versa. In the United States, you're not guilty until proven so. But in Russia, it's vice versa. You are guilty unless you can prove you're not. So when I called up and I said, unfortunately, my uncle passed, they asked me every cause. I said coronavirus. Was it confirmed? Yes, there was a test. Is it on medical records? Yes. But the cops came anyway, and they were very nice, they understood. But they said, listen, this is the procedure, you know the drill. So they opened criminal investigation. I told them that he had coronavirus, he was dangerous. They just peeked inside of the room. They asked me to lift up the blanket and show his wrists, just like this. So they look at the wrists and they see if there's if there are like black and blues and like cuts or anything like that. They immediately suspect foul play, and his wrist was clear, and they're like, okay. So they opened the investigation. They immediately closed it. They said something. The foul play was not detected, and they sent it to the investigative committee, which is a special unit of local police that processes the information anyway. Guys, kids are screaming to the point where it's not really comfortable. How well can you hear them? Do they bother you? Like their screamings? Please let me know. Ironwood Workman. I'm from Montana and West Virginia. I've been reading about Russia all my life. And thank you, Klingon Princess, for the welcome. Well, Ironwood Workman, you are certainly in the right place because this is what I do. My channel is about Russia, but not just a Russian about Russia, but I'm kind of a hybrid or a mutant, so to speak, because I spent almost half of my adult life outside of Russia. 9 plus years in the USA, a couple years in Uzbekistan, a year in Ukraine, traveled all over the world. So, noise is normal. Okay. Thank you guys. If it bothers you so much, just let me know. I'll just get out and walk a little bit. It's really quiet outside. There's no one. Anyway, Ironwood Workman, and this is the uniqueness of my channel, I think, is because I have a cause to show you the views on many things that are happening outside of Russia, as viewed from Russia, so to speak, and through my eyes, not just 100% Russian, but born and raised Russian, but with some experience of not being Russian. So just give me a shot. Watch a few videos, watch a couple streams, and decide for yourself. Hope that you stick around. Lorna, I have young grandchildren. The noise is normal. To me, the noise is normal too because I have Michael and he's quite, wholesome. But when I do the stream, it might disturb. You know what I mean? Throw candy at the children, says Lorna. They will temporarily shut up. Well, this is an expensive place, Lorna, and they're having some kind of a function. Check it out. You see, they're sitting at the table, a few families, they're having a function, most likely it's a birthday. And they have cheesecakes and all kinds of candies at the store, and the parents are drinking expensive wine, so I think just throwing candies at them will not do any good. But if I start throwing dollar bills, then they're gonna shut up. Terry D, Northern Grace, hi and welcome. Dirk, how are you, my friend? Firefly is not looking and driving and talking on the phone. So listening. Well, Firefly Farm, I will be speaking real loud just for you, so you can hear loud and clear. London, hey, thanks for the super chat. Just give me a second. Maureen Elder, London calling. Well, guess what, Maureen? Russia is calling to you. From Russia with love. Klingon Princess. Kids' noise is pleasant. Okay, guys. They're getting ready to go for another round. I think we call it the sweet round. The sweets, the cakes. Some eating pizza and Michael Jimmy, $10 super chat. Pasta. Michael, thank you so much. Courtesy of Michael Jimmy, J for Joseph, I am getting myself a pasta. It's just, I came here 25 minutes ago, 27 minutes ago. I was handed this, which is an excellent menu. And guess what? The waiter hasn't showed up yet. 27 minutes. And I can count minutes because it's right there in the stream. It shows how long I've been live for. Hang on 1 second. Kind of wiped off my front camera. There you go. Next time I see a waiter passing by, I hate doing that, asking, oh, could you please come to my table? Dirk, I'm good. How are you inside Russia? Well, I'm okay. Dirk, thank you so much. I'm surviving. Lorna, I wish I could. I wish I could throw in some wine, but I'm driving. I drove here, and zero tolerance policy in Russia, very strict. And there's nothing wrong with that. I actually support zero tolerance. I hate when people drive drunk. All right, you know what? I'm feeling better already. I'm feeling a little cheered up. I'm gonna tell you a funny story at the end. That happened to me a couple hours after this unfortunate tragical event 2 days ago. Well, it's not really a funny story, but it's an interesting story. Let's put it this way. A question from Terry D. Are they having staff shortages? No. Are they having staff shortages at the restaurants and other businesses in Russia? No. Vice versa. We are having my understanding is we start having the rise of unemployment because businesses are closing. They're not like it's not like an explosion and everyone's closed, but it's been really really tough for the past 18 months with this corona stuff, and we are surviving. Russian economy is doing, like, Russian budget is doing great. We are running a huge surplus because, we're selling very expensive oil and gas. Девушка, а можете ко мне подойти? Я что-то уже полчаса жду. Я хотел бы заказать пасту с томатным соусом. Какие у вас есть?
Стелла есть. Есть болоньеза. С мясом, без мяса?
Классическую болоньезу с мясом. И водичку без газа и кофе.
Маленькую или побольше водичку? 0,3?
А какая есть?
Есть 0,3-0,7 наша водичка, есть аквапана 0,5.
0,3 наша.
Не холодную, да?
Не холодную.
Кофе какой?
Капучино большой.
Есть 260 миллилитров и 380.
260 маленький, с корицей немножко. Спасибо.
Кофе сразу с водичкой?
Да, кофе сразу с водичкой. Guys, I just made an order, placed an order. So I'm gonna have a pasta bolognese with tomato sauce and meat. One of my, well, probably my favorite. Anyway, so I lost you, or you lost me. I was talking about the unemployment. Very short summary. No, there is no shortage of staff. Vice versa. It's just the businesses are not paying much their employers because everyone is having a hard time. And people don't want to work for peanuts. You know what I mean? It's not like in Russia, when in the United States, where McDonald's, starts you at $15 for like the lowest position. In Russian McDonald's, you probably, if you're a manager, you make $15 per shift per day. Flying Jeep, Texas. Flying Jeep, hi there. Hey, to Texas from Russia with love. I'm getting my stuff. 47 people, 49 in chat. Welcome. Lorna, thank you so much for helping me out and greeting everyone. We're gonna have a good life today. Wave with $1 and the waitress will come. Dirk, you know your stuff. You know your Russian stuff. You know what I mean? You know how to attract the attention of Russian waiters. Yeah, I know. I like Lorna. You were joking. You said they were drinking wine at the next. Yeah, I got you. I got your joke. And I would like to get a wine too. I'd like to throw a wine into my bill as well, but I just unfortunately I can't. Gosh, I have so many good memories with my uncle. I'm doing the same thing I did with my dad after he passed away. I just close my eyes every time and it's like a different memory pops up in my mind of me with him, like having a good time. Again, he was like number 3 in the line of my loved ones after my mom and dad. When I was little, 4, 5 years old, 6 years old, my mom and dad used to work in the city, and my uncle ran a huge farm. He was the best prepper in the world, I swear. He was so could talk hours about him. So my mom and dad used to drop me off for a couple days at his place, and he would basically live with me, like my grandparents and him. He would take me out for walks into forest, teaching me about the trees and teaching me about the animals, farm animals, how to feed them. He had 3 dogs, and he gave me a present, one of the dogs. I had a German Shepherd. Anyway, I'm sorry, kind of wandered off a little bit. It's just painful not having him around anymore. Flying Jeep. What's your news saying? China and Russia joined together and taking over. Yes. Flying Jeep. The news are saying that we are going to get together with China tonight and drink all night. And tomorrow morning we're gonna wake up, us, Russia and China. We're gonna join forces and we're gonna run our tanks right into Texas. So meet us tomorrow afternoon and better have barbecue ready for us, you know. That's what the news are saying. That's a joke. On a serious note, Russia and China joined forces back in 2014. And I've discussed numerous times this issue here because in the live streams I made videos about that, quite a few actually. And the kid is walking past and he's looking at the telephone. He's so curious what I'm doing here. Like I'm the focal point of attraction for the kids now. Anyway, the United States declared a Cold War on Russia in 2014. And I think it was a very wrong decision by the Americans. Because what the United States did is you pushed Russia into the hands of China. You alienated and pushed Russia away, and Russia cannot just hang in there, you know what I mean? China is standing on the other side, was standing with hands wide open and saying, hey, look what they've just done to you, but us, we're friends. Please come and join us, you know. And Russia, Putin immediately joined China. China gave us lots of money, the ones that the United States took away from us. And we signed a huge natural gas trade deal with China. And basically we joined, like we signed a military pact with China 7 years ago. And we were forced to do that because of the United States. So what I would do if I was the United States, I would be jumping up and down, trying to get Russia on my side. Say, hey guys, come. Let's join forces with us against China. But somehow the United States not doing that. So, Flying Jeep, answering your questions. I got a wonderful Russian water, which is called Aqua Sea. Sai. It's tiny, by the way. And I got Sapore Italiano Cappuccino, which is, if I was in Italy right now, everyone would be laughing at me because Italians never ever drink cappuccino at night. Ristretto, tiny coffees like that. And they drink cappuccino in the morning. But this is a, check this out. This is sugar, and I drink my coffee sugarless. So I'm gonna throw it away, and I'm gonna enjoy my. Oh, thank you so much. This coffee is really, really good, guys. This is as Italian as it gets. Okay, it doesn't get any better whatsoever. Thank you so much. Exiled West says you should be in charge of State Department. Sign me up. Anyway, I'm not really sure how to eat in front of you guys. I've never done that before. I think I ate one sandwich a long time ago. That's it, but look what I got. Fantastic pasta with mint on top, cheese and sauce. I'm not sure if you can see that. Посмотри, иди, если хочешь. the kid keeps running back and forth and just kind of peeking in, into the screen, like what's going on there. Pasta, by the way, is one of the most difficult, well, most messiest things to eat. Guys, this is courtesy of Michael J. Mead, Michael Joseph Mead. Thank you so much. Thanks for your super chat. By the way, I'd like to thank you, my Patreon. Michael is also my patron on Patreon, one of the 6 ones, I believe. And I also would like to thank another patron, Earl Lucky, for giving me super thanks, $49.99 for my stream last Saturday when I was telling you how my family members were feeling. Thank you so much, Earl, and thank you, Michael, for today. And they gave me a fork, but they did not give me a knife. They think I'm a monkey, and I'm just gonna eat with a fork only. Yeah, all right. I will try. Guys, I apologize. I'm not sure if you. This is how I'm gonna learn if you like what I'm doing right now or not. If the viewership drops, the number drops right now at 55, which is amazing. So if the viewership drops, then I know that you don't really like me eating pasta in front of you. How do they do that? Guys, I've been to Italy. Okay, I've been to Rome. I've been to Milan. I've been to Udine. I've been to like this northern part in the Alps, Venice. But let me tell you, I have not tried anything like, well, I've tried clothes, but this one is the best. Unbelievable. Everyone here eats. It's no big deal. Well, that's good to know. Lorna, thank you so much. You've been waiting for this long enough, huh? It's good stuff. Good, excellent pasta. I'm telling you. Oh my God. This is the best moment of my life in the past 7 days. Well, knowing that my mom is getting better was actually a better moment, but this one is number 2, I guess. This is a bolognese, classical meat sauce, tomato sauce. By the way, I'm making a video. Thank you so much, Sunset, for bon appetit. Kim, good to see you. And, it's not going to be a long stream today, I think, but thanks for stopping by. Guys, I started making a video about where I have tried the best pizza in the world. Is it in Russia, in the United States, in Italy, or another country, And I've tried, I love pizza. I've tried pizza like everywhere, and you will be surprised by what you're gonna watch. By the way, I'm trying to eat as graciously as I can. And it's really hard to eat graciously pasta. Guys, if you're just joining up, welcome to the stream, welcome to the channel, and I am eating the best pasta in the world. Seriously, the best Italian pasta with bolognese meat sauce in the world. Yeah, I am sitting in the south of Italy, in the city of Napoli, which is like the capital of the best pizza and pasta in the world. No, by the way, there's fireworks. The kids are gone, and you know, let me give a quick bite, not so graciously. You guys watch this company having a good time. Some kind of a friends getting together or a family. Thank you so much. Guys, there's this fellow, a Russian fellow, named Baklakov, and he runs a channel called Baklakov.live. All he does, he just walks around St. Petersburg. When it's nice weather, he walks outside and does live streaming. And when it's not so nice, he gets inside and eats. And that's all he does. And a lot of people love it, actually. I actually watched it myself a few times. Like he goes out to breakfast, to dinners, he has steaks and things like that. I guess I'm doing the same thing as Baklakov tonight. I'm just having a little bit of dinner. The best pasta in the world again. Believe it or not, but one of the viewers, one of my subscribers, actually, one of the viewers of a live stream in the summertime, he was a foreigner living in Rostov, and he knows this place, Sapporo Italiano. One of the key points that I always make is that it's amazing how similar Russia and the United States, Russians and Americans are in many ways culturally, you know. And if you keep like hang on to the channel for a little bit, you will see that a lot of things that we do here in Russia, there you could find people do stuff like we do, like for example in Maine or New York or in California, in Texas, you know, we're so similar. Zangief, it's good to see you, Vasily. Interesting from Joshua Halsell. I lived in Italy for 3 years with my dad in the U.S. Army. True Italian food was quite different from our Italian American style food. Learned a lot there. You see, I actually like both. I love food in the United States and I love food in Italy. They are a bit different. I'm not such a huge expert because I never lived in Italy. I visited for a week, for a few days on business trips, passing by, things like that. But they have great stuff. The best sandwich I had, we flew to Venice with my ex-partner and we needed to get to Switzerland, Zurich. And the best way for us was just to drive, believe it or not. So we flew to Venice, Italy, picked up a car, a rental, and drove all the way through the Alps and for the Eurotunnel, Mont Blanc tunnel underneath the Mont Blanc, all the way into Switzerland through France. And let me tell you, on the way we stopped in some kind of like sub shop in the mountains, had a sandwich, and it was, oh my god, to this day I have not had a better sandwich than in that Italian tiny little hole in the wall place, you know. I think the owner was like working himself and he was making sandwiches himself, you know. He was so proud of it. Creme brulee is my favorite, says Lorna. Yeah, I know. Lorna, we both are in the know. No, creme brulee is French. I mean, it's not. I've never said it's Italian. You know. Oh, it's really hard to see on the tiny screen. Is it phi, flea, or fee? I'm not sure. But listen, I apologize for last streams going to a little bit crazy. You know, under much psychological stress. You left saying it's too much of a conspiracy theories to me. No, not gonna do that again. I'm sorry. Kim, do you agree that the portion sizes of food in Russia is smaller than the US? Okay, guys, excellent question. Thank you, Kim. I'm gonna tell you a story. All right, we lived in Maine for a long time, for years and years and years. And Maine is like pretty much any other state. It just has a better seafood than most states. Fresh fish, fresh everything, you know. The sizes they serve in Maine restaurants are huge. I remember getting fisherman's platter or captain's platter for $20, like $18.99, and it was size of this, right? I'm a big boy and I eat a lot, but I usually wasn't able to finish that. I'd take some home and eat it the next day. All right, we come to Moscow. We leave the United States, we move permanently. And we start going out in Moscow, and we are shocked. The very first thing we notice, we go to McDonald's, right, the next day upon our arrival, and the first thing we notice is they actually weight French fries in Russian McDonald's. They used to do that. I don't think they do it anymore, but they had tiny scale, and they had like three sizes of like bags, baggies, like small, medium, large. And actually, they put French fries and they wait. And if it's too much, they take one or two French fries out. And I saw that. I'm like, what? The sizes of French fries in McDonald's was the sizes were one step smaller than in the United States. The small in the United States used to be the like kitty size. Medium is small. Russian large is American medium, and American large is it doesn't exist in the in Russia. It's I think it's called it would be called like gigantic and super size. Russians can't even think that this a size of French fries that big can be eaten. Okay, so that was McDonald's, and then we started going out to real restaurants, and we were so surprised to find that Russian portions were indeed so much smaller than the American ones. I mean, it was ridiculous. At first, we were feeling ripped off because we're going out and we're paying good prices. And by the way, Moscow is much more expensive and was much more expensive going out in Moscow back then than in the United States. Maine in Maine it was cheap, nothing, you know. So we pay like 3, 4, 5 times more, and we get like twice as little food. We were upset, but you know what? After a while, we gotten used to that, and it doesn't bother me anymore whatsoever. A lot of Russians, well, very few Russians are obese, and I think it's because of that. It's because the food like portion sizes are so much smaller. So Kim, hopefully I answered your question. James James Robinson, good to see you too. Joshua, the Alps and Venice is amazing. Agreed on that. One of the best drives, I think, one of the best drives I took was northern Italy, from Venice to Milan, and from Milan up north to Mont Blanc, and Mont Blanc into France, and then a little bit in France, and then to Switzerland. Wow, that was quite a trip. I want to take that trip again. Morning Light, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Randall, Boatman, good to see you. My day is going not too good. Not too good. My uncle passed away. We buried him. Well, we had a funeral. I went to cemetery again today. So physically okay, psychologically not too good. This is probably the height of my day right now. Having pasta, drinking coffee, talking to you guys, and not thinking about this stuff. Taking my mind off it, you know. That's the best. Thank you so much for helping me out here. Do look, do I say that right? Phi? I'm not so fond of McDonald's. Could you please transcribe how do you pronounce your name? I'm not so fond of McDonald's either. But when you get into a new place and nothing is familiar to you, you know, and you're like, what is this? You know, I don't know how, like, what kind of food here and there. And then you see McDonald's, you're like, oh, thank goodness, there's McDonald's. And you go and eat it because it's just familiar food, familiar menu, familiar tastes, and things like that. But no, Michael, my son Michael, has never had any McDonald's. He's hopefully he won't in the future either. Like fee, okay. Kim, so sorry about your uncle. It's been a very painful year. Oh my God, Kim, face palm and double face palm. Let me tell you, I thought last year was actually tough, but last year was nothing. On December 31st, I was in Rostov, kind of celebrating New Year, and I made a video. I think it's still available here on YouTube. I was just venting about how terrible 2020 was. I was saying, oh, I had coronavirus, you know, tough economic situation, blah blah blah, and I said, 2020, please go away. 2021, please come sooner. 2021 turned out to be, so far, the worst year of my life, hands down. My dad, my uncle, a few members of my family, not because of the coronavirus, but just happened that way. You know what I mean? I flew to Rostov and I started off my visit from visiting the funeral at the cemetery because like, part of one of members of our family, extended family, died. So I flew in and I immediately went to the funeral. And then my uncle died in my own hands, and I arranged the funeral myself for him. Basically buried him. You know, all the rest of the family just came in to say farewell and goodbye, and then. But I was the one like organizing the whole thing. When it was my dad on May 27th, I was in Moscow, and the first thing I learned, I jumped into the car and I drove 10 hours straight to see my mom. And while I was driving, the members of my family, my cousins, took care of organizing the funeral. So basically, I came in, I didn't do anything because everything had been organized already. And I guess this time it was my turn. You know, I paid my dues. Kim, you mentioned that your dad died last month, and my condolences to you too. I know how you feel, and it's terrible. I don't know what to say. I just hope and I pray that my dad and all our dads, all our relatives, the past ones, they are in a better place and they're having good life or afterlife or good something. Joshua, let's talk about Italy. Story. My dad had an Italian friend who came to USA for training. He asked him to try USA in review. He replied, "If I think of pizza, how we Italians make it, it isn't it terrible? But if I think it's new, pretty cool. Food's pretty good. No, this is the best pasta I've tried. Montana, Durham. Durham, is it wheat? Oh yeah, Durham is really hard wheat, I know. Harvest is being pulled in right now in Montana. This is the wheat pasta is made of. Well, it's really strange, ironwood. We also have Durham here in Russia, Durham wheat, and it's called Durham wheat. Durham pшеница, sort Durum. Okay, I think it's Turkish word. I could be wrong though. Anyway, but we harvest our durum wheat in late July. Actually, no, in the beginning of July. July 1st is when our season starts, harvesting season starts. And I think 3 weeks, it lasts here in south of Russia, it lasts for 3 weeks. By July 21st, all wheat is harvested. And you guys are pulling it in right now, which is like, what, 3 months after we do? Wow. Interesting. Really interesting. Yes, Turkish. Misty Woods, thank you so much. I think we both, me and Kim, need to hang in there. Thank you so much for sending prayers. Thank you. By the way, so far it's been fantastic stream, guys. I'm taking my mind off. The entire week I've been concentrating on one issue only, and it's so good to actually do something else. Angry mummies are screaming at their kids. The kid's name is Eva. Ironwood, 2 or 3 times a year you pull your wheat in. Holy cow. Winter wheat here in Russia is also grown, but it's planted, I think, in September or in August, and it's harvested, I think, in March or April. We also do that, but it's not huge, you know. It's called azimaya. Flatbread. Still have one video unpublished from Turkey. By the way, in the last 3 weeks, guys, I've done 3 videos only and uploaded 3 videos only. A little depressed and certainly feel burnt out by YouTube. Not because I don't like doing it anymore, but because of this whole situation around me. You know, just not YouTube kind of time this past 3 weeks. Have quite a few videos I need to upload. Hope you liked my video about Putin losing the pandemic battle. You know, it was a little clickbaity, but I think it's pretty good video. And I hope you liked my interview with Pinball. Kim, did country celebrate Putin's birthday? Not yet. I mean, we're not at that point of celebrating his birthdays. He's not Stalin yet. But we certainly saw it on the news. He went to Siberia somewhere. He usually goes out for his birthdays into taiga and brings his closest friends. I think this time was Minister of Defense. They did some fishing together or something like that, you know. Terry D, pinball is how I heard about you. Pinball is a good friend of mine. Thank you, Terry. I watch pinballs myself, you know, every morning. Oh, every day. Laura, love the interview, Konstantin. Thank you so much. I actually loved doing it, you know, believe it or not, it was fun. Mammy, love the interview. Great. Okay, guys, going back, reading your comments. Story time. Although it's pretty sad story, but it's kind of interesting, sad slash sad turning interesting. It's kind of turning crazy. Okay. Ironwood. Winter wheat here is very, very heavy. The winter wheat here has the highest protein in the world, they say. Wow. Montana, huh? Fee, so you're from the Netherlands. King's Day, Netherlands. Fee, I hope that we will never, ever have King's or Putin's Day here in Russia. That's a question not to me. Okay, guys, one of the strangest thing that happened to me, actually. Let me get closer a little bit. So I can lay back a little bit and relax after having this pasta. Okay, listen up. This is what happened to me. Artist Crop, hi there. Why are they screaming so loud and the parents are not saying anything? Are they doing it on purpose? Anyway, guys, this is what happened. 2 days ago, about 6 p.m., my uncle, 2 days ago in the morning, we understand where it's coming from, you know. He's not well. The doctor comes, he says, even hospitalization's probably not going to help him. So we kind of prepared, if you can prepare to the event like that. And he has hard time breathing in, I mean, it's terrible, terrible process, couple hours. And he dies right in my hands. He just stops breathing. Well, anyway, I call cops immediately after a few minutes, and I tell them we have a dead person. They get very serious, they're like, all right, what's your name, what's your number, what's the cause of death? The lady asking me consciously, like cautiously, and I'm like, CV19. She's like, all right, full play? I'm like, no full play. She goes, okay, stay there, don't move anywhere, we can send in cops. Okay, they show up 10 minutes later. It's a gated community, but they get in. They can get inside gated communities, right? So, like I think I told you a few minutes earlier. So they knock on the door. No, they like ask from the first floor. They're like, "Hey, you there?" I look out of the second floor, and I'm like, "Yeah, come up, come right up." And I see one of the guys like puts his hand on the pistol just in case. I'm like, "Hey, no problem." And I'm like, "Hey, listen, I'm unarmed, And so anyway, they cautiously like walk onto the second floor, and this is where we are. And they're like, where's the body? So I tell them it's right there, and my uncle just lying like in his bed with a huge oxygen generator, like a concentrator right next to him. And they ask me, they like show his wrists. So I like pull up the blanket and show his wrists, and they're clean. They're like, all right, yeah, no problem. So like, would you please come down with us? So I come down to the kitchen, and they're like, they inform me that they open criminal investigation, and I'm the suspect because I called cops. I was at the time of death right next to the person, but they're saying this is just a procedure, and we're, close investigation. We opening the case and we're closing it right now at the same time, and they write up like a report right in front of me, a few words, like this person was sick and he died of CV19, confirmed medical record, and like no full play detected. And the cop telling me like, would you please sign it? And I sign it off. And he goes, we'll still have to send it to the special committee. They will still check you and everything, but that's just, formality. Okay. Then they call up the hearse for me, and says hearse will come. Like, we're leaving. You're all set. You have no business with us anymore. The hearse will like come in 20 minutes, and they will tell you what to do. The hearse comes in, and they're very sympathetic. These people. And they take my uncle into a morgue for autopsy, because every Russian who dies goes through autopsy, right? And they give me a telephone number, and they tell me, call the person who does autopsy, the doctor, and then he'll tell you what to do. Tomorrow morning, come and see him, and he'll tell you the whole thing, the whole procedure. Mammy, I was the closest to the son that my uncle had. No, he did not have a wife or children. He basically served his family entire life, He was taking care of his parents, and he was helping everyone. He had 5 siblings. Anyway, and they just, we had been fighting for my uncle for like a week. And it happens, and all of a sudden, just like this, and the horse comes, and they take him, and we're just standing there, like, what has just happened? Like, what do we do now? And we're just standing with my aunt and me, myself, her sister, right? And we're just crying there, basically, and cry for a little bit, and I'm like, hey, listen, we gotta tell the family, and we make a few calls. Like at the same time, my aunt calls, I call a few people, and I'm like, listen, would you please notify everyone else? Like, okay, don't worry about it. And then they start calling themselves all around, and calls start pouring in to me. Everyone gives me condolences, like members of the family. and I just feel so tired. I feel so. It's really difficult to explain this feeling. Heavy, heavy. There's like a huge storm inside of me, and physically I'm exhausted, and I'm not feeling well myself. Right? I'm still coughing and everything. So, and I just, look at my uncle. Well, my aunt's husband. I call him uncle, and they've been married for like, I don't know, 50 years, I think. And I just, silently ask him for like a bottle, and he's like, just leaves, comes back speechless with a bottle of samagon. And I caught sala, which is lard, and we started drinking. Okay, we have a shot, another shot, another shot, and it actually helps. It kind of like releases all this tension, huge storm inside. And I had quite a few shots, like 8. Not drunk or anything, just I'm just ready to go to bed. And he passed away at 6:40 p.m. I called my wife. She was very very nice, very sympathetic, like comforting. And then my wife called me around 9 p.m. saying didn't really remember what she was saying. I didn't pay attention because I had this state of mind was just very disturbed. You know what I mean? And calls pouring in like every 5 minutes, 5 seconds. I answer and I'm like, "Hi, how you doing? Yes, thank you so much. The funeral. I will notify you later and so forth." So my wife calls me like nine-ish, and we sit there and we cry at the table and we drink, and 3 of us, and we cry more. And all of a sudden, I go upstairs to sleep, and I'm just ready to pass out. Okay. So what happens is I go into my bedroom, and it's 11:20 p.m., getting close to midnight. And right minutes, like seconds before I'm just about to fall asleep to pass out, my oldest daughter, Oля, calls from Moscow, and she doesn't even know that my uncle passed away. And she asks me one simple question that really puts me into shock, okay? She asks, "Hey, Dad, where's Mom and Michael?" And I was like, "What? They're not home?" She was like, "Nope." And I hear fear, like very in her voice. Not fear, but she was concern, great concern, like, where the hell are they? And Michael is usually in bed by 10 p.m., okay? And it's not like Natasha whatsoever to be out somewhere at 11. It was the first time. I don't remember anything like that ever happened, right? And I asked her, did you try to call Mom? She said, of course, but her cell phone is shut off in like WhatsApp. She was seen at like a couple hours ago. It's like a huge nuclear bomb drops inside of me and burns everything. I immediately feel fear, primal fear. I look up and I'm like, God, what are you doing to me? You're like, what is going on? Like, where's my wife and my kid? And I don't know what to think. It's just fear, and everything like kind of spins around. I'm trying to, mind you, stress like that. My uncle that was so close to me, he died in my hands, right? Just hours ago. And 8 shots of vodka, Samagon, and it's like stronger than vodka. And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm really scared. Not you're just scared that they're missing. What happened to them? First thing I think is the car accident, because my wife had told me that she was taking Michael to Gorky Park, in Moscow to play. So I call cops, local cops in Moscow. It's like you can call, like there's a direct number into the not precinct, but like this department, like who serves our residents. And I notify that my wife's missing, and the lady is very serious because Michael is 5 years old and the kid is involved. They don't wait for 3 days like they do in the United States. They, jump right into it right away. She's very serious. She professionally starts asking me questions. What's her name? Date of birth? What's her? I don't remember. My information, where we live, and I'm like, let me email you her picture. She's like, no, 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 no. I have her picture right in front of me, the passport picture. So she already pulled up all the information on my wife. And she says, listen, I'm going to take your telephone number and I'm going to pass this information to the operatives on the ground. And they're going to give you a call within like a few seconds. As soon as she hangs up, like 1 minute later, a guy calls me up and he introduces himself. It's like Captain something. And he's like, listen, he starts asking me like weird questions. Did you have a fight with your wife? I'm like, no. I have to ask these questions according to the procedure, things like that. Then he says, listen, this is what we're gonna do. Like, what is the last place she was seen? And I'm thinking like, oh my God, she was at Gorky Park. So I tell him, she was at Gorky Park. And the guy is, so like, okay, give me a few minutes and I'm going to call Gorky Park department. Make sure that nothing happened to them there. And I'm like, please do. And also, please look up if there's like a current car accident or something like that. He goes, yeah, don't worry about it. We're going to do it. We're going to like try to find them. Meanwhile, it's like 11:30 something. My daughter Oля calls me up and she's not in tears, but she's really, really scared. She's like, what are we gonna do? I'm like, listen, are you sure that they're not at home? She's like, of course, I'm not crazy. I'm like, please, walk into every single room right now and just do it for me. So she's like, okay. She walks into every single room. She checks for them. She goes, Dad, they're not there. I'm like, please take binoculars. We have a set of binoculars when we go on vacations to the sea, to like outside and stuff like that. I'm like, just look at the children's playground. We live on the 24th floor, and the children's playgrounds just, seen right in front of us, down below. She's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, please do that. So she does it. She's like, listen, there's close to midnight. There's no one, no children on the playground. And I'm really scared, okay, at this point. The guy calls me up, the operative captain, and he's like, I haven't found any information, no accidents, nothing extraordinary, anything like that. Like, we're gonna keep looking, all right? I'm gonna keep you informed. At this point, I'm terrified, because I guess if it was a normal day, I would be thinking a little more straight. But mom's in the hospital, uncle just died, the whole 9 yards, the week of myself being sick and everything, and I kind of like overreact, and I call a friend of mine, high-rank cop, ex-cop, should I say, who can do pretty much anything in Moscow, and I'm like, listen. And I wake him up. I'm like, I'm really sorry to wake you up. This is what's going on. My wife's missing, child's missing. He jumps up and he takes it very seriously, part of his job. And he's like, listen, it's a good thing that you called me. We're going to announce Plan Перехват. Okay. Plan Перехват in Russian, in English is an emergency situation. For example, when someone robs a bank, okay, there's like citywide emergency, and all the cops stop doing what they're doing, and they are on the lookout for the bank robbers, okay, for the entire Moscow. They're looking for the cars, suspects cars. If it's like a black Mercedes of a certain model, they start looking for these Mercedeses. They get the pictures of the faces of the robbers and so forth. So that's their priority number one. It's called Plan Перехват. He goes, we're gonna do Plan Перехват right now. We're gonna like send information of your wife, her car, your kid, to every single cop in Moscow right now. They will actively start looking for her. I'm like, dude, let's do that. He goes, I need some information. I need to, you know, call. And Plan Перехват is actually next morning would be, it's such a big deal that the chief of the entire Moscow police reviews every case himself, So it's a big deal. And I call up the operative and I'm telling him, listen, we're gonna announce Plan Перехват now. And he's like, are you serious? And I'm like, yes, I am. He goes, can you do that? And I'm like, well, yes, I can do that. And he goes, well, I'm in for it. If you can pull this off, then let's do it. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give the call to a friend of mine who's helping me out, and this is unfolding in a matter of like 10 minutes, perhaps. Okay, and then I get a call from Oля, my daughter, and she just calls me up and she says, "Mom and Michael just walked in," and I'm like, I literally, I felt like I turned into a jellyfish and completely like got flattered on the floor. It was, guys, it was absolutely incredible. So I'm like, immediately called my friend and I'm like, have you called the Перехват? He goes, so I'm just about to. And I'm like, don't. Because my wife and son just showed up, and he's like, I could hear him exhaling on the other side of the like telephone. He goes, well, I said, listen, I'm really sorry. This is just what happened. I'm really sorry. He goes, no, it's better be safe than sorry. And I'm like, listen, dude, I owe you one. I'm gonna get him like a nice bottle of whiskey as a thank you thing. You know what I mean? In Russia, we do that. And I immediately call the operative, and I'm like, dude, my wife just showed up. And he's like, oh, fudge. He goes, does that happen to you often? I'm like, this is the first time. That's why I called you. And he goes, well, I'm glad that it worked out, but I already, how do you call it in English? If a person is wanted, okay, like not Plan Перехват because it's huge emergency, but if someone is wanted, розыск, like the person is like information is emailed into every precinct, every department, and this person is wanted, and every time cop sees the car of that person and of that person, the cop actually arrests until further investigation. He goes, I just announced your wife, like, fed your wife's information into the system and she's wanted, okay? I'm like, that's great, what do we do now? He goes, it's not really a big deal, She's not wanted for a crime, she's just wanted as a missing person. He goes, she needs to come to me right now, and it's midnight already, and signed off papers that she's been found. I'm like, oh man. So I call up my wife, and she's in shock. She goes, listen, nothing really happened. Don't you remember that we talked to you like 9:30 p.m.? And at that point, bam, I recall. Before that, I didn't remember. These guys next door are really, really loud. Anyway, she said, don't you remember I called you? And I was like, giving you comfort about your uncle. And I'm like, oh my God. So I recalled she did call me. And I'm like, listen, I'm so sorry, but I can't think straight. And I got so scared. And she's upset. She's like, just give me the benefit of the doubt. What happened? They stayed in the restaurant very late. And then Michael was playing to another 5-year-old. And then he fell asleep. And they took subway to the parking lot. And then she was looking for a car, paying the parking, And then she got home, and then it took them 30 minutes to find a parking spot. So she was carrying Michael. She was, Anyway, it was absolutely like okay situation for her to be late, and the telephone died, of course, so it's out of battery. I'm sorry, these people are just insane. They're like screaming out of adults, top of their lungs. Anyway, so I asked her to go into the police station, sign off. She's like, I'm not gonna do that. That's midnight. I'm so tired. I'm like, Natasha, you gotta do that because, and I tell her the situation. She gets upset. I'm like, listen, don't get upset. You need to be thankful because I did this. I was able to actually announce her missing in like less than an hour, and also just about to announce Plan Перехват. Okay, that's a big deal, you know. So anyway, she says, okay. Ну что вы кричите так? It seems like these people came here just to scream, not to eat, but to scream. Oh my God. I guess this is just the way they speak to each other. Anyway, so anyway, Natasha goes to police department, sees the captain, signs off papers, comes back, and this is, and as soon as she like, calls me up and she says I've done everything, so the case closed. I just pass out, and I sleep all night. I had nightmares that night. I don't remember with what kind, but I remember it's pretty bad. So guys, that's my story. I mean, it's a tragedy, but that's also kind of a one of a kind story. Konstantin's face just now with that screaming kid. Yeah. Most are too busy checking sport score shopping. Don't see the sword coming down. Lorna because they don't want to. Mommy, thank goodness everything was okay. You can't imagine how I was feeling because I felt I felt like the God turned away from me for a few minutes because I could, why so loud? My God. These people are like gypsies, Italians, gypsies, and Egyptians are three kind of people that just speak very loud. Must be Italians. Look, this is way late for kids. They need to be in bed, sleeping right now, and they just. I don't understand parents like that. Konstantin, sending prayers to heal. It's okay, it takes time to heal, says Morning Light. Thank you so much, friend. Thank goodness everything was okay. All Points Bulletin, or APB, is what they call it in the United States. William S. Hi there. If I made a sound at the table without being asked a question, I would have not been able to sit right for a week. Not in Russia. All Persons Bulletin. Morning Light. Anyone that has a kid or someone missing even for a little bit understands. It was a tough day, Derek Gardner, hi there. It was a scary stuff. Thank God. Yes, they were okay. Everyone's okay. But the thing is, When I first heard Ola, and she told me, Mom and Michael are missing. I looked up literally, and I asked, like, inside of me, I asked God, what's wrong? Well, like, what have I done? What are you doing to me? But I actually was wrong 100%, like, on the opposite, because God helped me out so swiftly. I called the cops, and just like that, within minutes, they took all the information down and they started working. And I could see that the guy was calling me. I was in the contact with him, and I understand he was working. And the thing is, in 1 hour, he was able to, announce this person, what, Old Point Bulletin for you guys, but for us, it's like Russia-wide search, criminals and missing people. So, and I was able to get hold of a friend of mine and just to do a plan перехват, well, at least to prepare plan перехват. That's how God works, basically. If something happened, I would have known. Just the entire, like, every single cop in Moscow would work for me. In that case. Joshua, blessed to have friends in high places. Your police officer friend, as my mom would say. Yes, that's true. That's true. And actually, Russia is a place like this. If you have friends in high places, guys, you are golden here in Russia. Okay? If you don't, you're out of luck. Matt from Florida. Sorry about your uncle. My brother, 29 at the time, died a heart attack 3 days after taking second dose of Vaseline. 29. Holy cow. What you need to feel, because it will catch up to you. You will be fine. Thank you, Matt. I'm sorry about you, brother. Sending prayers to you, my friend. You need silence. Sunset, I'm feeling silence right now because all the kids are gone outside and there's three parents. A friend of mine from Uzbekistan is actually listening to the stream, and then he he just sent me a private message. Yes, Aziz, he's fine. He's fine. I'll tell you a story in Russian a little bit later. It's actually quite funny. Guys, I got so much heat from my wife that night. She was so pissed. Next morning, I called her up. I said, "Listen, do you understand that's because of my love for you?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's fine. It's fine." She says, "I understand. It's just I was too tired last night, and it's just, she also was very, very not concerned, but very hurt by my uncle's death, and this is how the Russian party looks like, guys. Check it out. The adults, they send kids away to play in the cold, and they're drinking wine, and it's too cold outside for them to play. Guys must be crazy. Anyway, guys, I should a different. The problem is there is another, like we call it the hall, another adjoined like this inside of the building. This is like an open space veranda. And there's also inside of the building, but the place is the thing is there's loud music playing in that part. Mommy, let me tell you, wrong place to choose for a stream, and this is my fault because I know better. I should know better, but it's just I wanted to walk, and then this is probably the best place here. I think that table is drunk a little bit, and whatever. Hang on 1 second. sorry, but I sent a private message to a friend of mine from Uzbekistan who's watching the stream right now, and then he was worried about Michael getting lost. I mean, it's probably the worst thing could happen to any person when the child is missing. I don't know what I want to think about it, to be honest. Anyway, this is it. This is it. My mom. Well, there's a possibility that I will be doing next live stream from Moscow. There's a possibility that I will return back home, and it will be very good news. I hope that I will. I've been in Rostov for 7 days, all over 7 days, 9 days already, and I'm planning on staying a few more. But wish me luck. I really, really want to go back home. It means that my mom is fine and to the point, to the condition when I can leave. You know what I mean? Whew, I miss my kid. I miss my wife, my daughters. Let me give you the update of COVID. Oh man, I know COVID so well now. By the way, when I first came to Rostov, well, my uncle had COVID and he died of COVID technically. At first, I was wearing a mask near his room, and I didn't go inside of his room. But he's in the same house, you know what I mean? It doesn't really matter. Then a couple of days later, I took the mask off, and a couple of days later, I started just. He didn't get up out of the bed anymore. He didn't stand up. So, me and my aunt, we were moving him back and forth from one side to another side, and at that point, I didn't really care about COVID anymore. You know, when he was dying, I was, I had my hand on his, like, hair. How do you say that? Petting him or like, trying to calm him down a little bit. And so I've been exposed like son of a gun. So far, no COVID. And of course, I did do tests. I'm sitting in a public place because I tested, turned out negative twice. Once in Moscow and twice in Rostov. The doctors, every time they came here, they tested us. And nothing. Last time I did the blood work for antibodies was in August before we went to Turkey. I had a crazy high number of antibodies from, I think that's from COVID that I had back in March, and then I think that antibodies, they're protecting me right now, and they protected me from the COVID, my uncle had. My aunt is the same thing. She had COVID last November. I thought at the time that it was bad, but now I think it was very mild, guys. Let me tell you, if you have COVID and you stay inside of your house and you don't go to the hospital, no matter how bad you feel, it's light. Because when you start running out of breath so bad they put you on oxygen in a hospital, that's medium. And when you're near death, that's heavy case, like difficult case. So at first I thought my uncle and my wife, who actually were helping out with my another uncle, like who I was drinking with 2 days ago, they both had COVID, and I thought it was bad, but it turned out to be a very mild case, and they still have antibodies 1 year later. My uncle, my aunt is 70, and her husband is 82. He's 12 years older, and they're both fine. Gosh, they're strong. And you know what? I am absolutely positive that if my uncle was admitted to the hospital, he would live. That's a very bad thought. I try not to blame myself. Well, I can't really blame myself. I tried my hardest to get him checked into hospital. I mean, no problem. I had negotiated him going to a good hospital. Okay, they were ready to take him. But he absolutely refused. And to the point where I was afraid that he would get a stroke on the way there because of this and anxiety and fear of hospital, you know what I mean? So, but I'm sure if he got adequate help, he would be fine. He would be absolutely fine. Well, not absolutely, but he would live. Anyway, so to tell you more about COVID right now in Russia, it's bad. Just today they announced it's on the rise again. Well, I can see that. Everyone around me is sick, basically. There are no extreme measures in Russia as of this moment, right now. I thought that last week they would send everyone home. They would send kids on homeschooling. They would send employees to home like they did last March and April. They're just standing and screaming right into my face. I don't know, just like on purpose. Anyway, this is a torture, guys. My mistake. My mistake. I brought you here. Lorna, at least it'd be comforting that this table is big enough for all of us. You know, this place is big enough for all of us. This is the Gypsy Band. Anyway, so today they announced that this is the record high number of people got sick and died in Russia since last December. And last December was pretty good. I think there are 26 or 27,000 people got infected. Well, got COVID-19 today or yesterday, and 968 people died. It's on the rise. Guys, I gotta get out of here. I can't stand this anymore. And they do it on purpose. Hang on. Thank you so much, guys. Девушка, там слишком шумно, я вот сюда куда-нибудь пересяду. This is a much better, quieter place, but the problem is music is playing above me, you know. That's copyright strike by YouTube. So much better. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Sunset, for so much noise, but yeah, I feel better too myself. Anyway, COVID. So we are at the record high numbers. The government starts introducing new measures, like, you know, the very funny is last March they introduced draconian measures, such as they kept everyone home for 2 months, right? And we didn't have COVID that much. Right now we have everything. It's like fire. Everything is on fire, but they are not introducing the draconian measures, not even close what they did last March and April. Okay, very, very strange. It's like they need to do that now. Okay, not 18 months ago, but now they need to pull kids out of schools at least for 3 weeks, something like that. They need to keep as many people working from home as they can, but they're not doing it. Very strange. A+ Russian, welcome to the channel. Hi there. Fee, good parenting skills not? Absolutely. Hi, Gypsy Chill. Yes, that's true. Is that a fruit tree at the restaurant? I think so. I think so. Tangerine tree. Give each glass of vodka. Derek, I think the parents of the kids already got glass of vodka each, and I think the kids also had a little bit. Lord, yes, the kids drunk. I think, well, they're not drunk, they're buzzed. The kids are back, following me. Okay. Linda Roth, sending positive wishes for you and your family during this unusually difficult time. Thank you so much. Hope your mom continues to improve. Take care of yourself. Thank you so much. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Derek. Derek, Constantine, the masks don't work anyhow. I've been getting quite a bit of hate for my opinion on masks. Again, that's my personal opinion. If I thought that the masks work, I would wear them. I would sleep in them. You know what I mean? What happened last year, guys? If you remember, I made videos throughout our quarantine in Rostov. What happened was I I did take care of all the precautions that I could. I did everything. I stayed inside. I ordered food delivery. Like, I did not go to the stores. Every time I was forced to go to a store to get something, I had a bottle of sanitizer in my car, and I would open the doors of my car and put everything like sanitizer on my hands. I was so careful. It was unbelievable. I wore masks everywhere, and you know what? I still got sick, and all my family got sick. So tell me how the masks work. How, sanitizing and washing your hands worked. How staying home worked if we got sick anyway. Yeah, watch my videos. I made the entire playlist as CV personal story. So I believe in facts, and the fact of what happened with me personally. I was wearing the masks, and I got COVID. A plus Russian. They should pull out kids out of schools on the states too. Every state of the thing is A plus. Here in Russia, although Russian government is one, the one, and Putin is the czar, our big boss, and makes all decisions on everything. Last year, they decided to follow a different path on the coronavirus. Vladimir Putin came out and said that, listen, every governor is responsible for his or her own province. The decisions are up to governors. Moscow will not be dictating the decisions. This is the first time in recent history that Moscow does not dictate, doesn't tell the provinces, the states what to do, okay? I figured this is how Putin and the government, you know, guaranteed their safety. If something happens, bad happens, then they blame the governors. They're like, hey, the governors had all the power. If something good happens, they say, well, I should be back just about now. Anyway, this is what happened. This is what happened in Russia last 18 months ago. So basically, Putin gave power to all the governors to handle their states coronavirus-wise. And each Russian province has different rules now. They don't depend on each other. Although they look and watch what Moscow does, because Moscow is like a beacon. Whatever Moscow mayor does, the provinces start copying that, but they're not obliged to. But I think they're feeling it's better be safe than sorry. Okay. In Moscow, our kids are still going to school. They still attend. Michael goes to kindergarten, and everything it's not an emergency yet, and I mean like formal procedures. But what is emergency? The coronavirus itself. flames everywhere. You know what I mean? There's fire. I don't think they will close the schools down here or there. Anyway, to make the long story short, I think 18 months ago, they should not have gone, like, taken kids out of school, but now they should. And 18 months ago they did, they shouldn't have, but they did. And right now they're not doing it, but they should. Okay. Melanie, hi there. Is that my older sister? Yes, Saskatchewan here. Russia. Cold southern Russia here. Happy Thanksgiving. What are you guys talking about? What Thanksgiving? It's November. So A plus Russian. I just explained to you that coronavirus, it's not one big Russia. It's the responsibility of each governor. Rostov province is one set of rules. Moscow, another set of rules. They don't interfere with each other. Okay, guys. Give me a good question or two to answer you. Preferably light-hearted one, good one, funny one. I will do that, and I think I'm gonna wrap it up for tonight. It's nice and peaceful. Check this out. We have another family, but this is not gypsies, okay? This is a Russian family. They have a girl, but the girl is behaving normally. Oh my god. The girl is eating pasta. Large TV. Says a chef from Italy. And they're showing how he cooks food. There's another kid. It's only 11 p.m., you know. No big deal. Doesn't matter that the kids should be in bed by now. So much better here. So much more quiet and peaceful. And they have a Bambini room, look. It's interesting why Bambini in the other room, the screaming Bambini, why they're not in this room screaming, okay? But anyway, it's my fault. I should have planned the stream more careful. I see a few questions. Canadian Thanksgiving different than USA. Oh, well, guys, Canada. Happy Thanksgiving to you, my Canadian friends. By the way, to all the Canadians and Americans who's interested, I'm making the video how I made a mistake calling Canada worse than Russia and telling in the video that Canada had all the elections banned. Canada actually did have elections and I made a mistake, I was wrong, and I am not afraid to admit that. Making a video very soon, I think within next week. And to you all, my Canadian friends, happy Thanksgiving. And Big Sis from Saskatchewan, happy Thanksgiving to you too. A1 plus Russian, they kind of look at Moscow. You know, they don't follow word to word, but they look. Moscow kind of gives the direction, you know, gives the vector. If Moscow does that, they like start thinking and leaning towards that direction. But I think that can change within one telephone call from Moscow. Say, hey, now you do what we say. And every governor will say, aye aye. Laura, that's a good question. Comment. But parents here don't want them closed because they won't have babysitters. In Russia, kind of same thing. It's really tough. It's really tough. But at this point, I feel like something needs to be done because COVID is spreading like wildfire. It certainly is not an easy decision. I mean, we've gone through it ourselves. Like, our kids stayed at home, not in school, and we worked out of home too, and I had to go to the office for some time. All right. Morning Light, do you have a Thanksgiving in Russia? My friend Morning Light, no, we do not have Thanksgiving in Russia. We have a very strange holiday. I think it's on the 4th of November, and it's called Day of Russian Unity. I'm not sure what this holiday is about, but it replaced the 7th of November, which was, of course, the Revolution Day, the October Day, when the Bolshevik Revolution 1917 happened. It was our Independence Day for 70-something years, 7th of November. And all of a sudden, Bolshevik Revolution no more, and what do? We can't celebrate 7th of November. And then some smart bot comes up and says, let's celebrate 4th of November, and we'll call it Unity Day or something. So we celebrate Russian Unity Day, which you can call is our, oh no, it's not Thanksgiving, but that's something like that, Melanie, Konstantin, how many kisses should a man give to his wife every day? Oh, good one. I think 948. Not enough? Well, I don't think that should be more than 1,000 because that'd be a little too much, pushing it too much. But I think 948 is a good number. Matt Yinger. Hi, my friend. What is? Look at this guy, Matt. He lived in Russia. He knows his Russian stuff. Okay, that's a tricky question. Matt Yinger asks, "What is Swedish family mean in Russia?" A Swedish family in Russian means, "Hey, thanks for the super chat." BG, $2. I just had some Georgian food and drank cha-cha. We will get to that in 1 second. Oh my God, guys, hang on. Matt, I will answer. But look, the gypsy kids are leaving, and the gypsy parents. I think I can go back. Let me just check. Oh, I can't see from here. Anyway, Matt Yinger asked me what does a Swedish family mean in Russia, and I think Matt Yinger knows exactly what Swedish family means. Swedish family is when a few adults live together as a family, and have sex, have relationship. I'm not sure about love, how love works with the Swedish families, but in Russia, in the past, we understood that's how the Swedes lived. That's normal for Sweden. That's why we call it Swedish families. I've seen a couple Swedish families in my life. That's not. It's like a myth, It's not. It's not like like a real thing that happens. It's basically an open relationship between some adults. It's oriented towards sex, and it was, I don't know, not I haven't had experience. I haven't seen people like in Swedish families, but it's very known phrase, and it's a very known term in Russia here. Any Swedes here? Could you please explain what Swedish family means in Sweden? Okay, Matt, I answered your question as well as I could. BG, howdy all. BG, thank you so much for the super chat. You just wrote me that you had chacha and Georgian food, and let me tell you, I've been to Georgia, the country, Georgia, Georgia, and this is land of the best food in the world, better than Italian and French, best wine in the world probably, and chacha there is, oh my god, my friend, it's unbelievable. I don't drink much myself, but I would drink chacha anytime. It's like a nectar. Stuff is really, really good. Georgians are amazing people, very welcome, very like open-hearted, welcoming, very, very warm, very nice. Let me tell you a story about Georgia real quick. We're driving throughout Georgia. The Georgian mountains are fantastic. Georgia used to be part of our country, Soviet Union, where I was born. So it was like one of the republics, the provinces of Soviet Union. But now it's an independent country, like towards. Anyway, huge, incredible, beautiful mountains, beautiful, like a beautiful. It's warm country. It's right next to Turkey. Warm winters. Fantastic place overall. So we're driving, and my wife had a dream. Like she wanted to see how persimmon. I don't know. Any of you know what persimmon is? It's a fruit that grows on the trees, and it's harvested just about now. I don't know, look it up. I don't know how to explain it. It's like bright orange and it's fantastic taste, very sweet. Persimmon, very popular here, very like widespread. So we're driving and she's like, listen, we're gonna take a close look at the persimmon tree. Alright. I'm driving and I see a house, a big fence, and right behind fence there's a huge persimmon tree and with like persimmon fruits hanging. So I pull over, I get out, and I take out my camera and I show my wife and my daughter, and I start taking pictures. But the problem is the fence is in the way. And I'm like, it's too bad. And I just go and knock on the door, and my wife's like, what are you doing? Don't do that, don't do that. Like, relax. A lady opens up, like a middle-aged lady, and she smiles at me, and I'm like, look, and I tell her, listen, we're tourists, we're passing by, we're from Russia. My wife has a dream. She really wants to take a closer look at your fantastic persimmon tree. Could we please just step inside of your, like yard and take a closer look? And the tree is right here. It's just, like 6-7 feet away from us. It's behind a big wall fence. And she's like, oh, of course, come on in. And we get in, and this is a huge dog. I mean, like huge, like 100-pound kind of a dog. And the dog is friendly, and she's telling her daughter, oh, take the dog away. And the girl is like 12 or 13. She takes the dog away, and the lady's like, oh, take a look, you're from Russia. And she speaks perfect Russian, of course. We all grew up speaking Russian in Soviet Union, right? She's like, oh yeah, take a closer look, and and my wife starts appreciating the daughter, and then the lady says something in Georgian to her daughter, and the daughter runs away for a quick minute. It comes back with a bucket, a big plastic bucket, and the lady's like, hey, look how we take persimmon down, and she has this device like a stick, and then and the persimmons are up high, like 10, 15 feet high, up high. And then she sticks out, it's like a selfie stick. And she takes a persimmon and she twists it and takes it down. And all of a sudden, and we're like, wow, we're looking at that, we're appreciating, we're having a good time. And she's telling us something. And within like 2 or 3 minutes, she gets, and the persimmons are large. She's like apples, large apples, right? She gets a bucket full of persimmons. And she just gives it to me. And she goes, here, that's for you. And I'm like, well, we kind of weren't trying to buy it. We're just passing by. She's like, and she gets really upset. She's like, buy? Did I say I'm selling it to you? This is my present to you guys. Take it. This is like, we don't sell to our guests. I'm like, so you're giving it to us to a present? And she's like, yeah. And the daughter's like, yeah, take it. With the bucket. Keep the bucket. We're like, what? And she's like, that's okay. And I'm so touched. And my wife, she almost started crying, like tears. She's like, "You giving it to us as a present? That's your." She goes, "No, no, no. You guests, you're passing by. You guys from Russia, just enjoy. Have a good time, have a good memories about Georgia." And we were so shocked. And I start thinking, what do I have in my car to give her as a present? I have nothing, unfortunately. And I'm like, would you please give me your address? I'm gonna send you something from Russia. And she also gets, again, she gets upset. She's like, no, it's present. It's not an exchange, just, and we're like, oh, and we just leave with this huge bucket of persimmon. And this kind of attitude for Georgian people is very common. I was so amazed. This is one of my top destinations to go and travel. Amazing place. So BG, thank you for your super chat, and please enjoy Georgian food. Fantastic. And I wish you have Georgian company of Georgian people around you. So they're fantastic people. I have a question from Kim again. Do you know why Russian language does not use particles? The an before words. Kim, very easy answer. I do not know. BG, persimmon, hurma, exactly. In Russian it's hurma, in English it's persimmon. Morning light. When I lived in the United States, not once I saw persimmon on sale anywhere. Okay, very strange. I think it's also called a Chinese peach. Melanie, thank you. Melanie says, Constantine, my beloved little brother, one of my concerns for you is that you do not appear to get enough sleep and are plagued with some issue that leads to this under eye circles. Too young for that. Well, first of all, Melanie, thank you so much for the concerns. This is bad lighting, and I've had the circles from birth. I don't know why. It doesn't matter how well I sleep well on most days. I get healthy sleep always, but there's black circles that are always there. I got rid of them before my marriage. We had a wedding reception, and someone recommended me. I took 2 pieces of cucumber and put them onto the black circle. They disappeared for a day. So I have like perfect wedding pictures. Morning light. What is cha-cha? Cha-cha is vodka distilled from grape seeds. Okay, incredible. This is like out of like whiskeys and vodkas and grappas and everything like distilled hard liquor spirits. This is the best I've tried. Matt Yinger, I think it only has the meaning in Russia. For me, it was funny when I learned that. A plus Russian. In Russia, we say Swedish table for all you can eat buffet. So the same principle for family, probably. But in America, what we call Swedish table is called smorgasbord. Matt Yinger, LOL A plus, maybe that's how it's originated. Ironwood Workman, what is the deal with Tilly Tilly bomb? The Russian kids sleep after. That's pretty funny. Golden X Souls, hi, I'm Oля. We miss you and look towards you seeing us. Oh, it's Oля. That's my daughter, Oля. My God, Golden X Souls. I didn't know that that's how you name yourself on YouTube. Oля, I'm going to get back home soon, and I'm gonna hug and kiss you all. Russian is easy if you're born Russian and speak it from early age. Paul, greetings from Atlanta, Georgia. Good to see you all again, my friends. Same here, Paul. Very good to see you. Linda, Roth, Constantine, nobody tells a story with so much heart. Better than you do. Thank you so much. I'll tell you another story about Chacha now. Okay, Morning Light. Persimmons are not sold in the US here because they do not ship well. You either know someone or grow them. I see. They do not ship well whatsoever. There are persimmon trees everywhere, just like apple trees in the United States, in Uzbekistan. And when persimmon gets ripe, it's like consistence of jelly. And when it like drops down on the ground, it's like a bomb. It squishes and a jelly all over. But it's so tasty, and you are so right. They do not transport well. Dengmar King, hello. Sorry I'm late. How are you? I'm okay. Thank you so much. Good to see you here. I hope Ola is still with us. Ola, are you there? Please answer Lorna House College, because I get asked this question all the time. Matt Yinger, in April, a popular Russian singer Vera, never heard of Vera, will be in Atlanta. I will come back for that. Kim, they sell them in Los Angeles. They get them from Mexico, and the trees grow them here. Oh, it's pretty cool. Guys, I will tell you a story about Chacha. We drive in Georgia. Okay, that's another story. And in Georgia, I don't know if any one of you ever been to Georgia. Back in 2004, Georgians had pro-American government installed. Well, America basically installed the government, and Americans invested a lot of money into Georgia, and they actually did improve Georgians' lives quite a bit. And one of the improvements is there are roadside little markets, like food markets, set up, special stands set up for Georgian regular farmers to come and sell free of charge. And these stands have this plaques, like signs saying sponsored by U.S. State Department. Okay, that's pretty cool. Anyway, and people like who live nearby, they just come, stand behind the stands, and there are like little parking spots. So cars passing by, they just pull over. Drivers get out and buy something. Okay, and Georgians do not need any licenses. They don't need to get their food approved by FDA. They just grow and sell. That's how it works, right? And they sell a lot of homemade wine. Again, you don't need a license or anything like that, because Georgians are crazy about wine. They have like the best wine in the world, even better than French. There are grapes literally in every yard, okay? So, and chacha is also, they make wine, they make chacha, which is vodka from the grape seeds. Fantastic stuff. So, and in Russia, you cannot buy homemade stuff. It can be, like dangerous, because they mix some strange things and you get poisoned. BG, thank you so much. Another $5 super chat. I'll get to that in a second. So anyway, in Russia, I would never buy homemade stuff like homemade spirit by the road. You know what I mean? Because there's a high chance of getting sick and actually die from that. But in Georgia, it's okay. And I, shop, and I ask what the price of cha-cha, like a quart. And the lady tells me, oh, it's like $3. And I'm like, $3? Why so cheap? She goes, well, I made it myself, like it's mine. I'm like, is it okay to drink it? Like, is it not dangerous? She looks at me and she goes, she doesn't understand the question. And she goes, dangerous? You think I would make something dangerous and sell? Well, I didn't want to offend her, but I mean, that's how it works in Russia. I'm like, yes, I'm sorry. She spits. She goes, poo. She turns away from me. I'm like, oh, I offended an old lady. Then she turns back. She goes, you look. She takes a plastic glass, like 100 gram, 4-shot glass. She pours it out of the bottle that she sells. She takes this full glass, 100 grams. I don't know, what is this? 3 ounces, I think. And she goes, look, you watch, you watch. And she goes, and I'm like, wow, that was a very, very good proof that your stuff is excellent. I'm gonna buy like all bottles that you have. She goes, okay. And I think the 4 or 5 bottles for like $15. I bring Chacha back to Moscow, to Rostov. We still lived in Rostov when we traveled to Georgia. And I had it in my freezer for quite some time. And then my cousin comes, and I'm like, hey, we're gonna drink something. Like, I have Chacha from Georgia. And my friend, like, he distills alcohol himself. He's an expert, he knows that stuff. He tries, and he goes, listen, this is one of the best stuff, the best spirits I've ever had in my life. And I actually try, and oh my God, really, one of the best spirits I've ever had in my life. It's so, like, if I were to buy at the store, it would be so expensive, like $100 bottle or something like that. That lady is a magician of spirits, I'm telling you. I remember her for 2 things. For the show that she gave me at the road, and second is for the, cha-cha, the best cha-cha, like the best spirit I've ever had in my life, okay? Whew. BG, thank you so much. I saw another super chat and a question. You're saying here in Ukraine, the State Department just helps loot the state. I know, it's sad. It's really sad. In Georgia, America did great, great things. In Ukraine, it's just a pawn. Ukraine is a pawn for the United States, and it's going to give up the spawn to Russia, like exchange it, trade it for something, for gas, for pipelines, for, Syria or something, unfortunately. By the way, friend, where are you in Ukraine? Which city? Has Oля showed up? Yes, Oля is here. Oля, earlier today I told a story how you called me up and you said, Mom isn't home. Where's Mom and Michael? Oh my God. Oля is actually the one who called me. Guys, it's been a little over 2 hours. Белая Церковь, BG. Thanks for the super chats, and you are welcome at this stream. If you want, come to the next stream. We'll talk about a little more about Ukraine. I have pretty good, well, not pretty good, pretty unique thoughts on the issue. I've spent close to a year in Ukraine, in Odessa, in Kharkov, and in, Kyiv just a couple times. So I know Ukraine well, and I have worked for a Ukrainian company since 2004. So I know the country, and I know what's going on inside of your homeland. So come to the next stream, because I'm just wrapping up this one. Melanie says, Konstantin and Oля, you may not realize that use of a double X has a vulgar, profane meaning to English speakers.